Hey guys, today I will explain you my stamina DK burst build. First off, we will start with some general information, then I will talk about the gear, character stats, CP, skills, then resource management, combat awareness, and the most important at the end, animation cancelling. So let's start with the general information. I know this build works quite well, but don't just copy paste it, adapt it to your needs. If you maybe don't like scales, change out scales with another skill, just test it out, test, and if you think you have found the sweet spot, then you're good to go. Most important about this build here is animation cancelling. That's why I will show you how to do it later on. If you're not able to animation cancel correctly, you will not be able to achieve a good burst. Okay, let's start with the gear. At the moment I'm using 5 pieces Hunting's Rage, 3 pieces Agility, 1 piece Malakena and 2 pieces Night Silence. Most people will have the Malakena shoulder, so you just can craft the Night Silence head and then you're good to go. Make sure, if possible, put divine traits on all 7 pieces because of the Shadow Mundus stone we use. I will talk more about that later. Then I have all stamina enchants on the gear because we want to get as high stamina as possible. On the jewelry, go 3 times weapon damage enchantments and make sure to have all robust traits so you get more stamina. Also make sure to have 5 pieces medium, 1 piece heavy and 1 piece light because of the Undaunted bonus here. This will give us a 6% bonus to all our resources, to stamina, magicka and health. For the weapons, make sure to use a 2-handed mace, sharpened, because in PvP penetration is very important and the more armor an enemy has, the more damage you will do. At the moment I have a disease glyph on the 2-hander because usually when I have to go melee combat it's some shitty perma blocking DK with green dragon blood or the other morph, and the disease glyph helps to decrease their self-healing. On the bow I use the new prismatic onslaught enchantment, which deals quite a lot of damage to vampires, and believe me, there are shit tons of vampires in Cyrodiil, so you have easy time killing people. Also make sure it's sharpened, because the more penetration, the more damage you will do. Okay, let's move on to the character stats. As you can see, I'm a red guard. There's basically 2 ways or 2 good races. Either use a red guard because of the passives. You get 10% increased stamina, which is nice. 9% increased stamina recovery. We don't really give a fuck about that because it's useless for this build, but whatever. Then adrenaline rush. It's nice in when you have to go melee combat. You get 1.2k stamina back every 3 seconds, which is quite a lot, to be honest. Second choice would be an Imperial because he gets more 12% increased health, 10% increased stamina, and he gets from Red Diamond passive, he gets I think a percentage health back on a melee hit, something like that. I'm not really sure, but you can check it out yourself. Third choice would be either Khajiit or Wood Elf because they get increased critical damage bonus out of sneak or in general. But really I think Red Guard you're good to go with this. If you have a Altmer, DK or some Magicka race, I would not really recommend running this build. You can try to check if it works or not, but if you have the time to level up Red Guard or Imperial, then do it. Okay, about the stats. As you can see at the moment, I have 556 CP. So if you have less CP, you will have a little bit less stats here. But it will not be a lot less. So health, we have 22k. That's not a lot for Cyrodiil, but we are not really aiming at being a tanky Dragon Knight, so it doesn't really matter. Stamina, I'm at 40.3k. If I had the head also divine, it would be a little bit less, but it doesn't matter. So if you have less CP, you will be maybe around 38k. Yeah, if you have more CP, you can get even higher, of course. Then my buffed weapon damage on the bow bar is 3.46k. And on the two-hander bar it's 3.57k. The critical sits at 51 on the bow, and on the two-hander it's a little bit lower at 46%. But really, critical, it's nice, but sharpened armor penetration is more important in PvP. That's why we are using mostly as much penetration on the weapons like mace sharpened and bow sharpened as possible. Then I'm using health stamina buff food to get out the maximum of stamina and that we have a good number on health. About the Mundus Stone, now this is very important. Shadow at the moment increases the critical damage by 12%, and if you have 7 divine traits here, you boost the shadow up to almost 19% increased critical damage. That's a lot. That's why we all go divines here and not infused on the heavy pieces, because we benefit more from the shadow. I know we have no stamina recovery at all, but it really doesn't matter, because we animation cancel a lot. That means we have to block a lot, and you know Zenimax introduced a 0 stamina recovery while blocking, so fuck the stamina recovery, who cares. Let's move on to the champion points. The two most important perks are Mighty and Bow Expert, because we want to get as much heavy attack damage as possible from bow. So basically make sure to put a little bit more into Mighty because of Wrecking Blow, Take Flight and all those stuff. So we also get damage increase, so balance Mighty and Bow Expert out. For example, when I put the point in here, another point, it will go up to 16.2. And also when I put another point in here, it will go to 21. So there is no difference at all, but better put a little bit more points into Mighty, because with Mighty all of your skills like Silver Shard, Executioner, Take Flight and Heavy Attack get the boost. With Bow Expert, only your heavy bow attacks get the boost. That's why I have a little bit less in here. Then the next important thing is Precise Strikes. If you have some free points, put some CPs in here. The problem here at the moment is, you see, it says it increases weapon crit damage by 15.6%, but it's cut in half because some calculation has gone wrong in Zenimax code. I don't know. I think they're trying to fix it at the moment, but If you have 16% here at the moment, you basically only get the 8% damage increase. So it's only half as effective as it should. Be aware of that. So focus more on Mighty and Bow Expert if you have less CP. Piercing, you could put some point in here, but yeah, whatever. Then here it doesn't really matter a lot. Try to find a good balance between block expertise, hardy, elemental defender, thick-skinned, and quick recovery. Maybe put a little bit more into quick recovery if you have the points, because rally will heal you more, and it's basically our only heal. And the resistances here that we get, like from resistant or hardy elemental defender, are not really important because we are not on the front line of the battlefield, and we only have 22k HP, so either we kill them fast or they kill us fast, so it doesn't really matter here. Quick recovery, put a little bit points more in here, and then just find a good balance between those three and block expertise resistant. Never put all points into one perk only, because the more points you put into one perk, the less percentage it will go up. So it's better to put it in different things to get the most percentage out of it. Then here, very important, tenacity. As you can see, increases the amount of magic and stamina your heavy attacks restore. Put most of your points in here, because heavy attack is a very important part of our resource management. If you have not a lot of CP, make sure to have at least 30 points in here to get the Synergizer passive. Now I just saw this is completely useless. Voila. We don't really need stamina recovery, so put the rest into Warlord to get the reduced cost of our skills. But yeah, if you have less CP, put more points in here and then focus on Warlord a little bit. I have some in Tumbling because when you need to roll dodge around, it reduces your cost. But you don't really need that, because when you have to roll around the rot, then you're out of stamina anyway fast, so tenacity is more important. Okay, let me check if I forgot something. No, that's basically it. Now let's move on to the skills. Let's start with the bow bar. First off, I have silver shards here. I prefer silver shards over venom or poison injection because it scales with the mighty champion point perk, and it does about double the damage as poison injection or venom arrow. Yeah, also use silver shards because the other morph, silver leash, what the fuck, is quite bugged, because silver leash would allow you to pull targets to you, but like the grip here, it is only possible to pull people with a height difference of 5 or 6 meters. That means when you are on top of a keep and you try to shoot silver leash at somebody that is on the bottom sieging, you will not be able to use this fucking silver leash skill, because Zenimax deactivated it completely. It is fucking retarded, but that's it. So where was I? The silver leash, yeah, don't use it, it's bugged. Use silver shards. Silver shards you can use on top of a keep and you will be able to shoot down with the skill. Also, it's quite funny when there are several vampires close together. You can, they get all knocked down to the ground. It's quite nice actually. And as you see, it deals additional damage to the Hydra and Undead, so vampires in PvP. Then Molten Armaments, this is the key skill of this build. As you can see, charge your weapon with volcanic power to increase the damage of your fully charged heavy attacks by 43%. And the damage can be increased by up to 150% against enemies with less than 50% HP. So when you're charging your heavy attack, make sure to have this active at all the time. I will talk more about it later when we go to the animation cancelling. Bombard. This skill, I basically only have it on the bar because when there is some shitty perma-cloaking Moron Nightblade around, you can hit him out of stealth and he gets rooted with it. So he can't really run away or roll, so just spam this skill, and then when he's visible, silver shards and he gets knocked down if he's a vampire. And most Nightblades are a vampire anyway, so yeah. You could put another skill in here if you want to use this build only for 1v1, scatter shot, so the enemy gets knocked back. But I prefer Bombard. You also can lock down whole raids, Zerg raids with this shitty skill because they get all rooted and then they are like, what the fuck is going on, and they have to roll and they get kind of split. It's also good to troll enemy raids. Then fire scale. It is quite difficult to use those two together because this one needs Magicka, this one needs Magicka, and we have a very small Magicka pool. So if you fight against a Zorg, make sure to have this active for when there is a meteor incoming, you have enough Magicka, pop the scales, and yeah, you will see where the meteor goes. You also could swap this out with another skill here if you want to, one of these, or Venom Arrow. Venom Arrow is also quite nice because when somebody is trying to res another player, you can shoot this and he gets interrupted, so he cannot res the player. Camo Hunter. Many people fucking hate this skill, especially vampires. Okay, let's see how it works. It gives you a 15% chance to cause additional magic damage against undead, so against vampires. And also a 4% chance against non-undead or the Hydra enemies. And then the attack deals extra 11k magic damage against undead and the Hydra. So now, when we are sneaking around, make sure to have Rally active, activate Camo Hunter, Molten, and then charge your weapon. When you shoot your silver shards, Camo Hunter will hit, and it will give you 2 hits. The 7.9k damage and the 12k damage. Those are 2 different procs. One is the normal proc and one is the proc out of stealth. So that's already like 10 to 12k damage there. Your silver shard will hit at the same time, another 8k damage. And then your heavy attack kicks in, 15k damage, and the other dude is dead for sure. That's why this one is so strong. And people are so fucking pissed off if you use this. But whatever. Flawless Dawnbreaker. Mainly on the bar, because it increases weapon damage by 8%. This is quite nice boost. We never really use this ulti at all. You could use it against a vampire if he has low health, just bash it to the ground and he will be dead for sure. Two-hand bar now. Rally is basically our only heal. Let's see what it does. It gives you small healing ticks and an additional heal at the end. The longer the rally buff is active, so it goes up to 32 seconds. When you activate the rally at like 10 seconds, you will get like a 8k health boost at the end. So when you engage in combat, always buff with rally first, because it's a nice healing tick. And when you're in mid fight after 15-20 seconds and then you see your health is low, pop this skill and you will be almost back at full health in one tick. Then our second heal is the potion. I will talk about more about the potion later. Now here I have a blank spot. You can basically put several skills here. You could use Burning Breath. It's nice to decrease the enemy's armor. You could use Choking Talons to root enemies down. Could use Fossilize. I really recommend using Fossilize, because against perma blockers when you're in melee combat, the easiest thing to do, they will almost die instantly. You root them down with Fossilize and then you use your ulti and they can't block it because they're still down on the ground. And then yeah, your fucking ulti hits for like 18k and they're dead for sure. You also could put Vigor here if you want, if you feel that rally is not enough. You need a fast heal. Caltrops works, Proxy Death works. It doesn't do a lot of damage, we know, but it works still quite well when you use Proxy Death and then you jump in with Take Flight and somebody will die for sure. It crits for like 3k, it's not a lot, but that's usually the 3k you need. Because when this one does 70k damage and the dude has 20k HP and this does 3k, then he's dead. Then to the next skills. Let's put this one out for now. Executioner. We mainly use this skill after Take Flight, because when you use Take Flight you do a lot of damage and then we animation cancel an Executioner, and yeah, usually when he's not blocking they will be dead for sure. I will show you later how to animation cancel this. Also it gives you, as you can see, while this ability is slotted, two-handed abilities deal 18% more damage against low health targets. So even if you just spam Wrecking Blow will also get a nice damage boost. Wrecking Blow is quite good because first off it deals a shitload of damage. Enemies can't interrupt your skill by bashing, etc. It's a 1 second cast, but whatever. Also, your next attack gets a 20% damage boost, which is quite a lot. I will show you later when we get to the animation cancelling section how I use the Wrecking Blow together with heavy attack, so you get the idea of it. Then usually I have Structured Entropy here, mainly because of the Might of the Guild passive. As you see, casting a non-toggle mage skilled ability grants you Empower buff, which increases your next attack by 20%. That's a lot. It's the same buff as Wrecking Blow gives. So before you use your ulti, you activate Entropy and then you use your ulti. So Take Flight does another 20% more damage. Now let's get straight to the ulti. Take flight. Don't use Ferocious Sleep because damage shield you will get out of it is quite bad since all the shields got nerfed. Use Take Flight, you can jump really far and it's fun to see people insta-die when they don't block with it. It does a lot of damage. As you can see when I buff myself only with Rally, it's already 20k. It doesn't cost a lot, 110 ultimate. The range, as you can see, 36 meters. That's so far. And people usually shit their pants when they see a DK leaping in their face. Especially if you're on this build. Because 40k stamina and 3.6k weapon damage in conjunction with the shadow will deal tons of damage. So now I will talk more about Take Flight later when I explain how to fight with this build. Okay. Now let's move on to the resource management. We all know stamina recovery is shitty low, but it really doesn't fucking matter because DK has so many ways to regen resources through other things. First off, as we know, we always use heavy attacks. Let's see. We have Tenacity from champion points, the perk. It gives increased stamina back on heavy attacks. And heavy attacks in general already give back quite a lot of stamina. So basically every time we shoot our heavy attack together with silver shards, it regens our stamina and it doesn't cost anything at all. Then the next thing, DK. In the Orphan Heart section, Helping Hand. Activating an Orphan Heart ability restores 5% stamina. 5%. Let's see, we have 40k stamina. 5% is 2k stamina. That means every time I use Molten Armaments, I get a free 2k stamina back. That's also a lot. Then another way, of course, is the potion. Restores 7k stamina. I use Wet 10 potions because they're cheaper than Wet 15. If you are filthy rich, use Wet 15 potions. They give even more. Last way to regen ulti. Let's see, where the fuck is it? This here. Battle Roar. When activating an ultimate ability, you will restore health, magic and stamina in amounts increased 70% of the ultimate's cost. So this 70%, nobody fucking knows what that means. It's an outdated tooltip, but whatever. It gives you like 5 to 7k stamina back when you use the ulti Take Flight, for example. Okay, let me see, did I forget something? No, that's it for resource management. Also, one last thing, stamina recovery, as I said before, it's useless because we animation cancel with block, so it pops to 0 anyway as soon as we block. So fuck stamina recovery in general in this patch. Let's move on to combat awareness. Now, I mean, in general, when you copy a build or when somebody provides a build, you see them, it works quite well, etc. Then you try the same and you just die left and right everywhere. With this build here, you can't just run into the enemy and you think you will stay alive for a minute like other DKs with their shitty sword and board. Make sure to use the Terra, the battlefield, as your kind of friend, because if you see a wall like this, don't go in front of it, wait here. You can buff up your skills, charge your heavy attack, go in front, shoot. Same with trees. If there's an enemy, kite him around the shitty tree. He will have a hard time targeting you and using skills. Move around. And then when you want to hit him. Charge your heavy attack, bam in his face. Wrecking blow, bam in his face. Don't just stand there and think nothing will hit you. If you just stand there, you will die. If there's an enemy, if this... Okay, it might sound ridiculous, but if this tree is an enemy, don't just stand there spamming wrecking blow like idiot. Move around him, roll through him, use skills, wrecking blow, other shit. Always move around, so he has a hard time targeting you. Right? Don't just stand there, this is very important, and I see so many people day to day just standing there, spamming wrecking blow. What do they expect? Of course it's easy to kill them when they just stand there like fucking idiots. Now there is different type of enemies like classes. Let's start with the Zorks. Zorks usually have huge shields, which makes them quite hard to kill, because shields are not critable. That means, for example, I have a 20k, let's say a 20k tooltip on my take flight. Let's say the enemy has no armor, it cannot do a 40k crit, because you can't crit shields, you can only deal max 20k damage. That's the problem with Zorks. If you can't get through their shields, you will have no chance of killing them. So, now the next most important thing about Zorks. It is really hard to kill them, but... Well, vampire Zorks, they're vampires, so Camo Hunter, make sure you have rally up. This one, maybe flap your wings because they're shitty frags, hits hard. Shoot, if they're not rolling, they will get knocked down, probably 90% of their HP is gone. Shoot another silver shard. I will show you afterwards with the animation cancelling how you can do this with max efficiency. They will have no chance to stand up and they're dead. Now another thing are the Zorks that are not vampires. They are even harder to kill because Camo Hunter usually doesn't proc on them. You must be a little bit lucky, it's either you dead or they dead. We know most Zorks use Bolt Escape to stun you, so before you charge your things, activate the potion, because as you see, become immune to knockback and disabling effects. They can't stun you, they can't silence you, they can't do nothing, like you don't get interrupted. That's so when you pop your potion, make sure to have rally up, camo, molten, charge your weapon and wait for a good moment when you know he will not be blocking, shoot your stuff. And if it's not enough, lol. If it's not enough, make sure to have your ulti ready. Be very close and leap in, and then he will be dead for sure. I will show you some examples later in the video at the end. Okay, now Nightblades. Nightblades are really the most fucking annoying class in all of Elder Scrolls Online, because yeah, they are cloaking everywhere, seriously. It's really hard to... If you don't can kill them with one shot, they just fucking cloak away. Sometimes you can get them with Bombard, yeah, but you see it's only a cone. So they can get away if you don't know where they go. What I've seen a lot recently, when you're close to them, they cloak. They will try to walk through you, so they get behind you. They will not run away like this. They will run through you backwards. Then if you really can't kill him, just walk away, because 9 blades are just so fucking annoying. What you can try is, when they are ambushing you with their shitty skill or instant skills, use fossilize. When he's fossilized, take flight. He can't block, bam, he's dead. You really have to wait for the right moment. I will show you example later of how I use fossilize together with take flight. Then Templars. Templars are usually not the problem, because most Templars spam puncturing sweeps or biting jabs on you, depending whether they are magic or stamina. While they are spamming biting jabs or puncturing sweeps, they cannot block. Remember, they cannot block. So all you need to do is use your take flight. He's down to the ground, use executioner, he's dead. Unless he has 50k HP, but most people have around 20 to 25k HP. When they are knocked down to the ground from take flight, they have no chance to react to your executioner, so those 2 hits are guaranteed. I will also show you that later when we get to the animation cancelling. Magicka Templars sometimes are fucking hard to kill because they block and spam Breath of Life. Same thing as with any other class. If you have Fossilize, Take Flight, Executioner, and they should be dead. If they are not, get into Wreck and Blow spam. Nah. Sometimes it's impossible to kill Breath of Life spamming Templar, but he will also not kill you. It's Then DKs. A lot of DKs I see, like I don't know why, but most DKs use sword and board in this patch. I don't know, it can be effective, but I don't think you can put out enough damage with it. So what we do with perma blocking DKs, which spam bash and low slash on you, what you will do, again, fossilize, make sure you have rally up, fossilize him, take flight, executioner. He should be dead till then. He has no chance of blocking this shit, because he has to break free of fossilize, and when you are 2 meters next to the dude and you use take flight, he has no chance to react to it. About other flappy wings DKs, yeah, it's quite hard to kill them, but usually what I do, I charge all the stuff and then I wait for the right moment. Like when you see he flaps his wings, you can count to 4, right? Because the reflective scales, it's 4 seconds long, and you can hope he doesn't reactivate it. So just count to 4 and then shoot the shit, and maybe it hits him, maybe it hits him not. You will see. If he flaps another ring, make sure to roll or block, because the attacks will come back to you otherwise. Then the last thing, this build is not supposed, like you cannot fight several enemies up close, because you cannot roll around a lot or block because of the dodge fatigue. Dodge fatigue, that means every time you roll in 4 seconds, your roll cost increases by 33%. Also, when you have to block, you don't recover stamina. So basically, it's either them or you, right? A 1v1, it will never be a long fight. It's either you kill them fast or they will kill you. always save your ultis for melee fights. Ranged fights, no problema. We have our strong heavy attack, camo and silver shards. Melee fights, sometimes wreck and blow spam works against new players, but against good players you need fossilize, take flight, or entropy, take flight. When you see a bunch of enemies stacked up 20 meters away, entropy, take flight in, and maybe you will kill some when they have half HP. When there is 6 people in a radius of 6 meters and they all have half HP and you leap in, they will all fucking die because you do so much damage. And if they don't die, use Executioner. Okay, now let's move on to animation cancelling. Let's start with the bow. Make sure when there is friendly Zergs or friendly guys around, always stay between them. Never go up front. Because you have such a long range, 36 meters. Don't need to be up front. If you're up front, they will target you, you will die. Always stay between friendly players, behind walls, like that. It's a lot harder to target, and the battlefield mess will also make it harder to see you when you charge Molten or other stuff. Because there's so many enemies, friendly players. So now let's see. Rally, 30 seconds buff, so you use it first. Camo Hunter, 15 seconds buff, you use it second. Molten, 9 second buff, you use it as a last skill. Charge your heavy attack, and then keep the heavy attack button pressed. You don't need to release the button. Now, what I will do is press the silver shards skill, and both attacks will go off at the same time. Okay, let's see. Have you seen how it hits? Critical attack, heavy, and then silver shards. Let's test again. And I don't really need to release the heavy attack button. It starts automatically again. And of course, if this target was a vampire, camo would also proc. So now the thing with molten armaments, how the damage is calculated is very important. When you charge your stuff, you shoot at the enemy. First thing that will hit is always the Camo Hunter proc. After the Camo Hunter proc hits, your silver shards will do damage. And then the last damage is your heavy attack. And because your enemy is on low health because of Camo and silver shards, your molten bonus, you see, increased further by up to 150% damage against the enemy with less than 50% HP will kick in, and you will get the 20k fucking heavy attack into their face. And they are dead, pretty sure. Now, that is the most important thing. You need to understand that. Charge, rally, camo, molten, and then shoot silver shards. Don't release your heavy attack. Silver shards. Now, next thing, when the target is down on the ground, maybe 3k HP left, because enemies will get knocked down anyway, even if they are not vampires. You have to charge stuff. Then right after you release silver shards, you shoot silver shards, you block, and you press another silver shards. Look. You see how fast it is? When I do the whole animation, it goes long. But now I press silver shards block, silver shards block, silver shards block. It's a lot faster. So, before the enemy has time to react, you will hit him for sure with another silver shard. Means he will be pretty sure dead unless he has 50k or 30k HP. This is very important, because sometimes you don't get critical hits and then you need to shoot another silver shards. And that's the animation cancelling thing with the bow. Press silver shards block, silver shards block, silver shards block. You also can try silver shards light attack, silver shards light attack, but it's a little bit slower. Then also, of course, it matters whether you are 2 meters away from your target or let's say 20 meters. The travel time of the projectiles is a lot shorter when you are close up. I will show you later in a short video how I do that in the fight, so it can be more clear. But I hope you understand how this works now. Then let's move on to the two-hander animation cancelling. Now here, same thing. Basically with rally, just an example. You see he does the whole animation. He lifts his mace, goes down. Now let's see what happens when we block. Did you see? It doesn't go up at all. But I still get the buff. So I press rally block. And now when I don't press block, it goes up and down. It's fucking slow. When I animation cancel with block, it's fast. That's the difference. Now, okay, you don't really need to do that with rally, but whatever. Because usually you have time to buff yourself. The same can be done with all the other skills: wrecking blow, executioner, take flight. First off, let's start with the wrecking blow. Wrecking blow, as we said before, it gives you a 20% damage increase. You attack an enemy, wrecking blow, and then you start pressing your heavy attack right away. And then you kind of cancel your wrecking blow with the heavy attack, and your heavy attack cancels. No, the wrecking blow cancels your heavy attack afterwards, sorry. Okay, let's see how this works. When I do a full wrecking blow, animation is slow, you see? Now I start pressing heavy attack. You see my rotation, it's a lot faster. This way I basically press down heavy attack all the times. And when the hammer is behind his back, I start pressing wrecking blow. And it starts charging the wrecking blow right away. And when the wrecking blow hit him in the face, the heavy attack starts charging automatically again. Because you still have your heavy attack button pressed. That's how you can animation cancel your heavy attack with a wrecking blow, and vice versa. Now, next thing, executioner. Usually, when enemy has low HP, when we leap into someone, when we use take flight, jump in, and then you land it on the ground. You press block, executioner, block. I will show you. Now you see, executioner animation, very slow. It sucks. Now I press block right after I press the button. You see, it hits a lot faster. So when you use take flight and block, executioner, block, he doesn't have time to react to it when he gets knocked down to the ground from the ulti. Same with fossilize. Let's see. I know this dude is immune, but whatever. You can fossilize block and he gets rooted to the ground, right? Now we will use fossilize ulti executioner. And always block in between. Fossilize block, ulti block and executioner block. The enemy will have no chance to counter this attack because you fossilize him to the ground. Then you use take flight. He will get the whole damage of take flight, the executioner, and he will be dead. I will show you example later on. This is the most important part. If you can't do animation cancelling properly with block, you will have a hard time with this build. Now let's try the light attack. I will shoot my silver shards, then light attack another silver shards. This also kind of works, though I prefer blocking and because it's faster, but did you see? Heavy attack silver shards, light attack silver shards in a short time. Let's try again. You see. It is difficult at the beginning, but just use trolls as target dummies and practice this stuff. You could also animation cancel with bash, but with this build it's not really useful. Okay, that's it for now with the specifics from the build. Now I will show you some examples of kills I've done with the rotations I used. Okay, here you can see some sword and board soldiers coming in. He tries to block. I petrify him, leap, executioner, and he's dead. He did not have time to react to my take flight, so he took all the damage. Here you see I'm buffing myself up. I'm not going directly into the fight because DK doesn't deal a lot of damage. I see the Nightblade, focus, shoot. He drops dead immediately. No time to react to my skills. Okay, here I'm trying to find two sneaky Nightblades. They show up. I just block a little bit. I see them close together. I leap in. They don't block. One survives. I use executioner. He's also dead. You see, take flight has shitload of burst damage potential. Okay, here you see I'm trying to gank a Zork because it's so much fun, but my skills almost do 0 damage out of sneak, so he seems to have Radiant Mage Light on, which reduces my damage out of stealth. I leap to him, put pressure on him, he spams shield like a crazy dude to survive. Then he bolts away to get some more room. I try to keep the pressure on him. Okay, now you see I try to get a little bit room. I charge my bow attack and I see he doesn't have shields up, so I shoot. He almost dies. He tries to run away. I leap in, keep the pressure on him. Now I go into Wrecking Blow, heavy attack spam. His CC immunity wears off and he gets knocked back. Executioner and he's dead. This was a really tough fight. Usually they don't last that long. Okay, here I want to show you an example with Bombard, how you can lock down a Zerg. We see there shitload of enemies. I'm like, oh fucking bullshit, I'm not gonna run in there. Running away a little bit, alarm the others. Then I'm just checking where they are, trying to find a good spot. I see there the small tower, why not, let's go up there. Because I have my take flight ready, entropy, take flight into the enemy raid because it's so much fun. Now I start spamming Bombard. You see the arrows on their feet. they don't know what to do with it. They try to block bash it and it doesn't work. They're kind of confused. Now I start spamming Bombard and it deals a lot of damage, as you can see. Then I noticed the Atronarch, it's ours. I activate the 25% increased damage synergy and I do even more damage to them. And now you see the pressure is still on them and our group is still fighting them and they start dying. We have a runner there with my last stamina resources. I try to kill him, my last silver shards. I could pull off, hits him in the back and he dies. Okay, to the conclusion, I know I talk quite a lot, but make sure to remember those points. If you think some skills are not good for this build, change them so the build really fits your needs. It is very important. And then make sure to practice the animation cancelling on some mobs so you know how it works. This is the most important part of the build. I say it again, if you cannot animation cancel correctly, you will not be able to burst down enemies. Then again, you're not a sword and board DK rushing into the enemy lines and blocking there, standing there, doing nothing. You are between your friends, you're aiming for single targets, if possible vampires, you snipe them down with a heavy attack. And if somebody attacks you close range, you swap to the two-hander bar, take flight, executioner. If he didn't block, he will be dead. Okay guys, I will try to keep the build updated also for Orsinium patch, which will hit the road soon. Check my YouTube channel and check Tamriel Foundry, where I always will write all the updates down. Maybe it's a better overview for you if you like to read through it again. And happy hunting. I hope you will get a lot of hate whispers. Good luck guys, see you soon. Bye.